Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. Ex-wife cheated and is pregnant. Reached out to me saying the other guy is abusing her. Advice: before she cheated on me and left me for another guy, my ex-wife, 29 female and I 31 male, had been married for 7 years and had been together for 9. Our divorce was officially finalized in March of this year. The other guy is a jerk who seems to be in his 20s and who acts like a playboy. I first learned about it at the end of last year, and she informed me that she wants to divorce me in January of this year. I learned that they had been talking for a year before they started dating in October of last year. Because we didn't have any children, the divorce proceeded well. She got the car, and I kept my possessions and cash in my possession. After that, I was no longer a part of her life and she was no longer a part of mine. With the exception of 1 or 2 instances when we happened to see each other in public, we never spoke with one another. Her family is quite traditional, and when she cheated and divorced, they virtually closed her off from the rest of the world. She made the decision to move in with the other guy. During this time, I learned that she had lost a lot of acquaintances as a result of the other person making advances toward them or ridiculing them. Her ex's friends sought to draw me into their disputes. This is immature AF, but I mentioned it since these friends were the ones who stayed by her after she had an affair, telling me she had found herself and that I should probably let her go. I have no ill will toward her or the other guy. I didn't get engaged at this period because I was preoccupied with my professional goals and recouping the money I had lost as a result of my divorce. Specifically, here is where I need help. A phone call from one of my ex-friend's wives 2 days ago told me that my ex-wife had requested my phone number, which I had changed after the divorce, but she didn't say much when I asked her why, and she said she needed to speak with me. Given the fact that we had never talked before, I took her desire to speak with me as a serious indication, and I asked her for my phone number, which she promptly provided. My ex-wife called me the other day, and she seemed a little creepy for real. She didn't have the same tone in her voice as she used to, but it was broken, and you could tell something was really wrong with her. In the aftermath, when I questioned as to her well-being, she broke down in tears. A discussion on how beautiful things were in the past swiftly shifted to how things are now being seen as lovely. That other guy is a manipulative, alcoholic psychopath who has deceived her several times over the course of their 7-month relationship, leaving her in charge of money and pushing her to find work, and she is now pregnant as a result of his betrayal. For the sake of avoiding becoming a parent himself, the man has falsely accused her of cheating on him and has begun assaulting her. Her options are limited, and he insists on an abortion if they are to stay in the same relationship. Asked why she didn't contact the police instead, she said that she had nowhere else to turn, that none of her friends were willing to assist her, and that the POS had links to the police department, making her fearful that things might go wrong. As a result of the fact that she is unable to contact her family, since they do not want anything to do with her at this time, she is all alone. Honestly, listening to her made me feel miserable, I swear to you. I told her that I sympathized with her predicament, but that I was unable to help her, since I did not want to be a third party in the matter. After that, I informed her that whatever connection we may have had was no longer operational and that she was on her own at this point in time. After all, she doesn't mean anything to me, so why should I put myself in harm's way to save her life? After all, they're now a married couple with 2 children. They're dating, and she has the upper hand since she makes more money than he does, which gives her the upper hand. If she does not want to get an abortion, I advised her to get some money and go without saying anything. I did not want her to feel pressured. After 17 minutes, she essentially wanted to continue talking, but I told her I had to go to work and requested her to leave the room since I was busy. She expressed guilt for the way she treated me and for abandoning me, both of which were acts of self-preservation. The fact is, it is something in which I have zero interest whatsoever. It was agreed upon by both of us that she should only contact me if absolutely required going forward, since I no longer wanted to hear from her. Due to the fact that no one should be treated in this way, I gave it some serious thought last night and felt compelled to take action. However, I don't want to get in the way since doing so would cause me to lose my own feeling of tranquility. If you have any suggestions on how I may be of service to her, I would really appreciate it if you could share them with me. As a result, I phoned her family and described the scenario to them. They informed me they didn't want anything to do with her since she was already dead in their view. Edit: ladies and gentlemen, Neither reconciliation nor reunion with her are in my plans, nor is it my goal to strive to aid her in any other way. I offered her with connections to rescue organizations and attempted to contact her family, but they insisted that I disconnect her. She came to me as a last resort, and I don't want to spend the rest of my life wondering that I could have done more to help her. That is why I created this post to try to help her. Prior to telling her that this is all I can do and that she should not contact me unless it is an emergency, I plan to send her money via her friend. Update: I've decided that this will be my last post on Reddit. It was a nasty fiasco from beginning to end, and I'm still remorseful about it. In addition, I'm going to remove this user account. I was there to help her. As a result, I handed her a few $1,000s via a friend and urged her to have a good time since I didn't want to be involved in this with her. On the 14th, we had a 38-minute phone conversation with each other. She expressed regret and went on to speak about the good moments we had together, but she never said that she wanted to get back together with me, despite my repeated requests. I took note of the fact that she wasn't pleading or requesting assistance, but rather telling me that this was the path she chose and that she knows she won't be able to maintain or care for the child, that neither the other man nor her husband would allow her to keep the child, and that she doesn't want to abort it. She told me she wanted to express her regret to her parents, who had cut her off since the incident produced a ruckus and her nudes went viral in the neighborhood, causing her family a great deal of embarrassment for the distress she had given them. In my message to her, I expressed my wish for her to find happiness and urged her that she needed to cancel her engagement with him. That's all there is to it. Throughout our whole chat, I did nothing except listen. I didn't want to be the one to defend or approve her behavior. I was merely nodding in her direction. This time, she was the one who told me that I am a remarkable guy who deserves more than she does before she willfully hung up on me. It was for this reason that she made the decision to commit herself. This was something I noticed the day before yesterday. That other guy was a jerk, and the pistol he used was definitely unlawful. She shot herself, leaving a statement that essentially said it was her road that she chose and apologizing to everyone who was hurt as a result of her actions. Currently, the probe is still in its early stages. The second individual, according to what I've heard, has been caught for unlawfully possessing a handgun and is now on the list of the most wanted suspects. I'm not in contact with any of her friends or family members. Because I work in another city, I am unable to be present in this town. According to what I've heard, her friends are preparing to testify against the other guy in the case. No one from her family or circle of acquaintances got in touch with me. My understanding is that her family is unaware of this, but I am not planning to alert them. As a result, I'm having trouble falling asleep right now. My conscience is suffocating with dirty guilt. I had the opportunity to assist her. I was given the chance to do more than I did. I had the opportunity to interfere, but I chose not to, and as a consequence, she committed herself. Fuck. Since I learned about it through a friend whose relative is a member of the investigative committee, I haven't been able to discover anything additional about what happened. I really didn't want to write this, but I needed to get it off my chest for some reason. I puked twice already and still can't keep it together.